Guys, it's that time of year again for the Sootch Holiday Gift Guide from Getzone.com. And we have a great lineup this year, starting out with Mec-Gar metal Glock mags. This is for your G19 and G17 18-round mags, and these are really high quality. And it gives you another option over just the polymer mags. Also, we're going to be taking a look at the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield X Carry Comp, and this is a performance center model. And a few other surprises, to the point that I call this the ATF Christmas Guide. So guys, hopefully we're going to give you some ideas, not only for family and friends, but also something for yourself. And we really appreciate Getzone.com for putting all this together, and Mec-Gar being our presenting sponsor. And guys, check out Getzone. It's the #1 Second Amendment friendly video platform out there. So Mec-Gar has just introduced their Glock compatible magazines. This goes to the Glock 17 full-size mag, but it has 18 rounds. And then we have the Glock 19, and this is also 18 rounds. It just has an extended base plate. Now, one of the things about Mec-Gar is they've been in business since 1965, and they are an OEM manufacturer for a number of major gun companies. These are made in Italy. They know what they're doing. I mean, that's over 60 years. These have an anti-friction coating on them, so they're very slick. That's going to make it really easy to slide in and out of your magazine well. Also, we have our witness holes. The body is made from a carbon steel, and it's properly heat treated to the exact specs. It has a high-impact green high-vis follower, so when that thing locks open, you're going to know that it's empty. It has a high-impact polymer base pad, and it's very easy to disassemble for cleaning. You just press the button in the bottom, and then just drive your plate right out. And then we have our spring, which this is actually high tensile strength music wire. And so this is going to give you a lot of compression and expansion over and over, and it's just going to add to the life of your magazine. Glock base plates will not fit on the magazine, but I'm going to tell you guys, this makes this so much easier to remove your base plate than the standard Glock magazines where you have to press the body and you have to overcome those nubs. And with the Glock 19 mags, you just have this little bit of an extended base, and again, this gives you 18 rounds. Now here with your Glock 19, just hangs off just a touch, and yet you've got 18 plus 1, which is standard 15 plus 1. With the Glock 17, of course, you have 17 rounds. We're going to put this in. Now we have 18 plus 1. One of the questions, honestly, that I even had was, how does metal mags work with a polymer mag release? If you'll notice, the mag release cuts. There's no open hole. There's no jagged lines. This has that anti-friction material on it, so it's going to make it really slick to be able to fit off and on. And Mec-Gar says that you don't need to change out your magazine release. That polymer mag release will work just perfectly with your magazine. And it gets very little tension coming off there. This gives you that metal capability, an extra round, and honestly, you can feel how slick that is compared to the polymer. Now, taking the magazines and testing them out at the range, we wanted to give them a good run through. We put a couple of 100 rounds through the 17 and the 19, just getting a feel for the reliability, which I had a lot of confidence in already with Mec-Gar. And just seeing how they function, taking the mags in and out, kind of checking to see if there's any kind of wear around the magazine release, and we didn't see anything. And again, it just gives you that additional round with a flush fit magazine for your 17. And then gives you additional rounds for that 19. And again, you have that heat-treated carbon steel body that's going to give you a lot of life, and the music wire in there that's going to give you a very consistent push, even with loading and unloading the magazines over and over. Now, the Glock 17 mags will not work with the G19X, so just take note of that. You'll have to use the standard mags. But for all of your other Glock 17 size grips, this should work very well. Again, Mec-Gar is an OEM manufacturer for a number of different major gun companies, and they service a lot of military contracts all around the world. All right, guys, we have the Smith & Wesson Performance Center M&P Shield X Comp Carry. What a name for a very small but very effective handgun. The Shield series has been massively popular. Now with the X series, there's just a lot of upgrades, and then you put the Performance Center enhancements, and this makes an incredible concealed carry firearm. It's a 9mm, it's striker fire, it has a 13 round magazine, but it also comes with a 15 round, and this is a very thin, small handgun for 15 rounds. And that 15 rounder, it just extends the grip a little bit, makes it nice to grip hold of, especially for guys that have bigger hands. One of the things about the texturing is that it is aggressive, and this is going to be excellent for the range no matter what the conditions are. And yet it's very thin. And it's thin also from the front to the back. We have memory pads here at the front, indexing pads just to put your finger. Also, this nice beaver tail comes up, and it just allows for this to rest a little closer in your hand. It mitigates recoil. The 3.6-inch barrel has been ported, and this is what they call their power port. It's the slide and the barrel that's been ported, and we have a fluted barrel. Which is an extra touch from the Performance Center. And we have cuts on either side of the slide. The serrations are very well done. They're directional. They're very easy to grab, front and rear. And they come over the top. I love this. This is a Performance Center touch. We have the AmeriGlow Troopers, and this in the Lumi green. It is a tritium sight. And then we have a blacked out rear serrated sight. Or you can go with a red dot, and this is RMSC compatible. The Armor Night finish, especially on the Performance Center, it has a beautiful look to it, but it is extremely corrosive resistant, water resistant. I mean, this is great for the elements. You have your slide stop here. It's minimal, but you can grab it fairly easily. We have our takedown lever, and we have our mag release right here, and this can be switched to the other side. Plus, we have a flat face trigger, which has, of course, the little trigger shoe, and it has a really nice trigger brake. And guys, triggers are very important, and we come in with our reset. It's right here. We do have a crowned barrel that's going to preserve your accuracy. We have a 2-slot Picatinny rail, but it's very grippable. And that was one thing when we took it to the range. I mean, it's just, you've got a solid feel to it. Typically with these very small micro 9s, especially something so thin, it's a little bit more recoil than a full-size handgun. But with the carry comp, with the beaver tail, with that grip, even the memory pad, this gives you a full solid purchase on the grip, which translates to better control at the range. And it weighs 20.6 ounces with the magazine. Fobus Holsters, they've been in business since 1978. They were the first to manufacture injected molded polymers into a holster. They're based out of Israel, and they produce holsters for law enforcement, military, and civilians all across the world. And honestly, they have hundreds of different holster options. This is the GL Pro. It is an active passive holster system. This is for the Glock 17 or 19. They also make the same design for the 1911 or 2011s. This is a paddle design holster. And in the back, it has a rubber coating that just allows this for better comfort. And also, it just helps the retention onto your belt, which you can run a belt loop through the holster as well. It has a very soft feel to it, unlike Kydex, which typically has kind of a rough finish. We do have the paddle, and so this is where you press. Here with the Glock 19, it just goes in and it locks. You have active retention until you press the paddle, and then you can pull it out. But here's a small cogwheel design, and you press the paddle and you turn it, and then you have passive retention. So then when you insert the handgun, you can actually pull it right out. And that way it does lock in a little bit, but then as you pull it, it overcomes the retention. So this is the passive, and then we have, of course, the active. So it's according to the situation you're in, and the great thing is you can switch these out at any time. You can take a small screwdriver or the case of a cartridge. And as you can see, it does allow room for your red dot. It gives you a full grip on the handgun, and then without it being right there in front of the trigger, which can be a disaster. Here they have it up where you're naturally going to put your finger when you draw, and it really gives you more of a memory just to put your finger in the correct location. Also, it has a deep sight channel, so that way if you have higher sights, you're going to be able to insert them. And as you can see, you've still got plenty of clearance with this Glock 19. And with the Glock 17, it does come out just a touch past the holster. And of course, this will also fit your Ruger RXM or a lot of other Glock clones that had the same slide design. We have a screw that loosens or tightens the retention, and that is really made for when the holster is in the retention mode. Now typically with paddle designs, they can kind of stick out a little bit off your hip. But with the GL Pro, this rides really close to the belt, especially when you have your belt inserted. And this makes an excellent outside the waistband holster for concealed carry or for duty carry. Now we took the GL Pros out to the range. We wanted to test the draw, whether it was the active retention, which really works good. It just allows for that firearm to be in there. It's not going to accidentally come out, or if someone reaches and grabs the gun, it's going to lock it into place. But then also we wanted to go through the passive design. It gave it a little bit of retention, just enough to hold it into the holster, but it was very easy to draw and get on target. And of course we wanted to do this a number of times, just testing it out, and guys, it just worked flawlessly. It's a beautiful option between retention, and if you want to go passive, you have that option as well. And guys, it makes it so easy to dismount. When you're finished, just pull it off your belt and you can bring it out, or again, for extra security, run your belt loops through the paddle. Again, Fobus has been in business since 1978, producing hundreds of different style holsters, mag carriers, a lot of different options. The Fobus motto is on your side, and this is a great holster to have on your side. Next, we're going to take a look at the Go Dark Faraday bags. Now, this is something that really piqued my interest. I'm big about Faraday bags. I have a number of different ones. Here's the facts, guys. Your phone is the ultimate tracking device. It follows everything you do. A lot of times you even have your bank information on here. You can be located, you can be tracked, you can be hacked. And having a way to block those signals is getting more and more important. Just the fact that there are cameras everywhere on top of your phone means that they know where you are at all times. But to me, another big reason why I've gotten into Faraday bags is the possibility of an EMP, which, if detonated in the right place, it could destroy 70% of all of the electronics in the US. Now, one thing that I really put a priority on is maybe a phone case. And here is one of their phone cases. You just take this shock cord and it locks right here. It's kind of like one of the dry sacks where it folds over. It needs to, because here we have our shielding, and there are 3 different layers of shielding. Now, this will block GPS, cellular, 4G and 5G. It'll also block Bluetooth, so it makes it safe from hacking or tracking. Also down inside we have a felt material, so this is going to protect your electronics. So if I drop my phone down, I'm not hitting directly with the shielding material. What's really a big plus for that is I'm also not going to damage this material. So then I just fold it over, and you do need to fold it over because that's also what protects it from the opening. And then I just latch it. The material itself is a poly shell with PU and TPU coatings. This is water resistant, puncture resistant. I mean, honestly, it's watertight. That shielding is going to work even better. Plus, your electronics are in here and you don't want to ruin it. But this is just a flat bag. You just slip it maybe in your glove box, put it in the seat, and then you can go and no one can track you. And here we have the MAS series, and this is for MOLLE attachment system, and it's larger. It does have the MOLLE attachment on the back. These are used by the U.S. military, used by law enforcement, federal, state, local, and also for people that really just want to keep their privacy, even security professionals. One thing about this particular lock is that all you have to do is just press down and it comes open. It has a magnetic little seal to it, so it locks in. But when this thing is closed, there is no way to pull this off unless you take both and push them. And then again, it just unfolds. For the larger phones, especially for those that have big cases or you have something a little bit larger, and then again, you want to make sure that you have that thing folded down really well. And then just lock it in. And this is a one-handed use. Because there's no stitching, this also blocks those places that the shielding may not be able to protect you from. Now, these have been independently tested. They meet mil-spec standards for defeating an EMP. So again, these are used by the U.S. military, federal law enforcement, and a lot of others because these are, to me, the best on the market. And guys, then we have the duffel. Now, this is really large and you can put bigger pieces of electronics in here. One of the things about an EMP is you don't know when it could happen. And to me, that is more of what this is about. There's a lot of different sizes. There's even a bigger one where you can put a computer tower in it. But the funny thing is, if you have your phone put away in a Faraday bag and there is an EMP, you're not going to have cell service. So what is the use for your phone? Well, you have a lot of data on here. You have a lot of information. You can download a lot of information. And this will still be a computer. And as long as you can keep it charged, this is still going to have a lot of uses. And it's the same thing with other items that you have. Whether you have iPads, laptops, you have radios, or thermal, night vision, all of these have computerized chips in them or some kind of electronics. And so you want to be able to preserve those. I'll tell you, to be honest, I think this is a good way to put items like this away in a larger bag and then just store them in there. Now here on the outside we have a zipper, and this is sealed and it's waterproof, and that way you can put your different items in here. This is not shielded, but it gives you a place just to put extra items. Also, we have little attachment rings for Molly all the way across. Nice grab handles, and they're solid 600 denier material, and you can tell that this has some kind of coating on it. It has that PU coating or TPU. We have a T-pull for the zipper, and this is lockable, so it locks up on the zipper, and then when you pull it, it unseals, and then you have this sealant that just locks it in. This will make it water resistant. It'll also make it better to seal up all of your gear. And then inside the bag, you see you have the shielding material here. This is removable. And then at the bottom, we have this really soft material that's going to protect not only what you put in here, but it's also going to protect your shielding. And then right here we have some Molly attachments. They're Velcro. You just undo it and you can pull the shielding all the way out. But guys, this is a 45-liter area, so you can put a lot of gear in here. Now it does come with two straps, and you can use one as a carry strap, and it has the attachments right here. And you have a little tab you just push down, and you have a nub, and it just goes over it and it just locks. And then if you want to release it, just take it and pull it off. You can put on one strap for a shoulder strap. You can put on two because they have different setups all around the bag, and that way you can use this as a backpack. So guys, we're going to be doing some testing on this. We'll do a full review on the Sootch channel. We just wanted to introduce this, and guys, I'll tell you, this is something close to my heart, not only for the tracking, which I've already gotten to where it just really bothers me that they can follow everything I do, but if an EMP hits, that is my worst nightmare, and this is going to protect you. All right, guys, we have the Primary Arms SLX 1-10x28. It's a second focal plane scope. It's a 34mm tube. But the big thing about this is their Nova reticle system, which is an ACSS reticle, which is, to me, one of the best combat reticles on the market. The beautiful thing about this scope is that you can have it on 1 power, and it's like having a red dot. But you can get distance out to 10 power, and with the ACSS reticle system, it just really allows you to get on target. Now, with the ACSS Nova reticle, this is red dot bright. We're going to look at this, but guys, this dot gets so bright. It is an illuminated reticle. It has fiber wire. There are 11 settings. So guys, honestly, I've never seen a reticle that bright in a traditional scope body. It's fast, it's simple to use, and again, it's not caliber specific. Half MOA adjustments, and it is mil based. The tube is aluminum. It weighs about 19 ounces. It's 10.5 inches in length. The eye relief is pretty generous. It's 3.2 inches to 3.5 inches. So you're going to be able to mount this really easier than you would be on some that have the shorter eye relief. Now we have a modular throw lever on the side, so it makes it really easy to go from 1 to whatever magnification you want to stop, and then again it goes all the way up to 10 power. And yet it's not much bigger than a 1-to-8, but you're getting that extra capability. One thing about having that higher power is that you can identify, and that can be very critical, and get a little better detail. Now it does have your scope covers, and they're really nice. They do spring forward, and then of course they're easy to take off. Right here we have a diopter. Us guys that have any kind of stigmatism or any kind of eye issue, you can focus this in, and so you can really make that reticle very crisp, or the target you're looking at. We have our elevation turret here. and we have really low turrets. I like that because it makes it really simple and low to the gun. And again, these are half mil adjustments. Here's your illumination turret, and it goes from 0 all the way to 11. And guys, that 11, as you've seen, is extremely bright. I mean, putting this up to your eye, even with this extended tube, makes it red dot bright. And the turret is knurled, so it's really easy to be able to turn, and it has those detents, and you can actually hear them. Guys, this is a very simple reticle system in a sense, but yet you do have that mil dot coming down so you can get your elevation, and then with those windage marks, makes it really easy to get on target. Now, having the illuminated reticle is nice, but if for some reason your battery goes dead, you still have that reticle that's there that you can see and you can still use. Now, Primary Arms has a lifetime warranty on their optics. And guys, they have been in business for a number of years producing really excellent quality optics, whether it's their small little red dots all the way up to their larger, more long-range optics with different type reticle systems. There's a lot of different caliber specific. There's distance specific. I mean, they give you a lot of different options. Well, guys, we have the Rost Martin RM1C, and this is their comped model. And Rost Martin is a new kid on the block. It's a 9mm striker fire pistol. And guys, to be honest, when I first saw this at NRA this year, I thought, okay, another polymer striker fire pistol. Probably a Glock clone. Well, I was mistaken. This is really a feature-rich handgun for a really great price. So before we get into it, let's make sure the gun's unloaded. And it is. We have a 15-round magazine with a green follower. We have a 17-round magazine that also comes with the gun. These are interchangeable with CZ P10 magazines, and they function. And we did a full review on this, and it does. They work really well. But what really inspires this is, as you may think, it could be a Glock clone. It is not. It's actually very closely related to the Rex Delta, which is made in Slovakia. Those are excellent firearms. And there were some design cooperation with Rex Delta. So there's a lot going on here, guys. First off is it has a nitro carburized slide, which is very well done. Really deep slide serrations. You can see how they cut through. We are optics ready, but they have serrations along the top. And we have sights that are blacked out at the rear with a U-notch, and then we have a front white sight. And they do have other sight options. In fact, these are compatible with the Springfield XD and XDM sights, which you have a plethora of different choices. But this one is the comped model. And I'll be honest, guys, this thing really performed well at the range. And this comp really works. Comp barrel and slide cuts. It's really flat at the front. We have a 3-slot Picatinny rail. Again, it is optics ready. And included is the adapter plate for an RMR, but they do offer a number of different plates as well. It has a nice high ride right here on the grip that acts as a beaver tail. We have ambidextrous mag release, ambidextrous slide stops, and we have really ambidextrous takedown levers. Memory pads here that have a little bit of an extension to give you a little more to grip hold of on those index pads. The trigger guard is large and it's great for gloved hands. Really nice undercut here. The texturing is very well done. It is aggressive. In fact, I think the first models were a little less aggressive and they have stepped that up. And it has 2 other interchangeable back straps, and with the pin that holds them into place also acts as a lanyard loop. The mag bases have a little cut, so if you have some kind of malfunction, you can grip it and pull those out. They have a number of different holster companies that have already started producing holsters. The barrel is 4 inches and it's cold hammer forged, which is going to give you extended life on your barrel and accuracy, and the barrel is crowned, and it does have that really flat face. But the trigger is one of those things that I really like, and this is the DAS trigger. It is a double action striker fire pistol. So here we bring it to a wall, flat face. Man, that is an exceptional break, especially for a striker fire pistol. We have reset really fast. The trigger to me is a big plus for this handgun. While it's about the size of a Glock 19, it's actually smaller and it's more rounded off. We have a loaded chamber indicator here at the top, but we also have a cocked striker indicator. And so this just disappears if the gun is not cocked. And so guys, we took it out to the range, and with the comp, it kept it super flat. This comp is very effective. The beaver tail helps get that a really low bore axis, and then with the texturing on the grip, front and back strap, you just feel like you have a good solid hold on it. The slide serration's easy to grab, and overall this at the range was just an excellent gun to take out. But I'll tell you guys again, that trigger was what did it for me. I love it. It's tactile, it's audible, the reset, you can feel it, and it's a very crisp break. So overall, it's a brand new offering, but again, it has a lot of heritage behind it, and man, for the features, the price is really right. Now guys, we have a full review coming right up of the Rost Martin RM1C. Now guys, when Smith & Wesson introduced their 1854 lever action rifle, I don't think there was anybody as surprised as I was, and I was very pleasantly surprised. I knew Smith & Wesson would do a good job, and guys, this has been an excellent series. This is in the new 3030. They do make a number of different calibers, different color finishes, but what I love about this particular model is that it kind of puts traditional look with modern features. And of course, the first thing is the stainless steel receiver, and it's 416R stainless steel. We have a stainless steel barrel, and it has a brushed finish to it. And this holds 6+1 20-inch barrel, black synthetic stocks. I mean, it just looks traditional, and yet it has a very modern look to it. First off, we've got the large lever, and this makes it really easy to grab. And of course, we have a spurred hammer, and you can get one of the extensions if you're running a scope. It has the XS sight ghost ring. We have a Picatinny rail, that way you can mount an optic. And here at the front, we have a gold bead, and it really shows up very well through that ghost ring. The barrel is threaded, and this is 5/8 by 24, so you can put that suppressor on, or a muzzle device. Side loading, very easy to load those rounds in there. You can see we've already been to the range. And when you're bringing that bolt back, it's just that round bolt of the 1854. Cross bolt safety right under the hammer. And we have the tang coming down, connecting to the black synthetic stock. And the pistol grip has a lot of texturing. And then it goes all the way back to a rubber butt pad. And we have a sling swivel here at the bottom. We have a flat face trigger, little hook on it, but it gives you that 90-degree, and man, I mean, it's just a straight pullback. Also, the forearm does have the texturing on it, and then we have M-LOK compatible rail here at the bottom, and on the other side. You can put lights, you can put a bipod, whatever you want to. It just modernizes this rifle. And we have a stainless steel end cap where we can also attach our sling. And guys, the 3030 caliber has been one of the most used hunting calibers for white-tailed deer in history. And guys, my first rifle was a 3030 lever action. And because it's been around so long, there's so many different choices. But again, Smith & Wesson offers a number of different calibers, all the way up to 4570 and all the way down to 357 38 special. The action's very smooth. It's a very balanced firearm, which your lever action rifles typically are. That flat face trigger just gives you really great feedback. It's that natural pull straight back. The bolt comes back really smooth, and it's one of the things about a lever action is pulling that lever, it makes it really fast. In fact, outside of like a semi-automatic, the lever action rifle is a very quick and handy rifle. With the stainless steel and then the black synthetic stocks with the M-LOK, the pistol grip, the large loop, the Picatinny rail on top, this takes that traditional look and it really modernizes it. And in that traditional 3030 caliber. Well guys, this has to be my favorite part of the holiday gift guide. Not only because we're talking about whiskey and cigars, but because of what this stands for. This is Hooten Young. It is an American whiskey. We're going to get into some of the details. And this is the Jack Carr edition. Norm Hooten was Hoot during Black Hawk Down. He is a true American legend and hero. And then he's collaborated with Jack Carr, who is a New York Times #1 bestseller of the Terminal list, also retired Navy SEAL. This is their Warrior Proof, and we're going to take a good look at it, but this pairs extremely well with one of their cigars, and this is a Dominican Puro. It's a new offering, and guys, it's also a Jack Carr edition. Now, one of the things about Norm Hooten when he came back after he retired out of the military was he wanted to start his own whiskey company and offer cigars. One of the reasons is because a lot of times when they'd have these special operations, when the guys would get back, that enjoy a really nice cigar, have a little whiskey, and just really build relationships. Take time to slow things down, kind of reflect on what's going on, and really build a lot of camaraderie. And really his message is to not only remember those who sacrificed everything, but also just to take time and enjoy life. And one of the beautiful things about this pairing is that it does give you the chance to sit down and just remember all of those who have ensured our freedoms. This is their Warrior Proof. It's a 16-year special reserve. It's small batch. It's 125 proof. Its mash bill is 99% corn, 1% barley. We're going to get baked apples and a little bit of clove. But the label is just excellent. And again, it has Jack Carr right on the label along with Hooten Young. I've already removed the seal from the cap, and we're just going to pour some in this little tumbler. So let's see what the nose thinks. You know, I can smell the corn, I can smell the ethanol, but there is a rich, deep, I would say apple. I can smell the apple. Just a hint. The clove, can't really tell. It feels like there's a little spice to it. We'll know when we really take a sip. But that has a really clean smell to it. Guys, I've watched a lot of reviews on different bourbons, and especially with the Hooten Young, and these are receiving rave reviews from really a lot of the experts. While I'm not an expert in knowing all the different details, I am an expert in loving whiskey. But again, we're pairing this with a Dominican Puro. This comes in a box of 20. They are hand rolled in Santiago, Dominican Republic. These are 6.5 inches. The ring size is 52, and it's a Toro size. The wrapper is Dominican Corojo, and the binder is also Dominican San Andes Seed. The filler is Dominican Piloto Cubano and other tobaccos. And the origin is Tabacalera 10 Cabrera. Now, cigars do contain nicotine, and they can be highly addictive. And if you want to know, I can tell you all about it. Now we're going to cut the cigar, and I love the V cutters. It's nothing like a good cigar, and man, I love that V. I am so excited about smoking this. Unfortunately, I'm not able to smoke this or drink this on this video. So I'm going to do so, and then I'll be back to report to you. But I am really looking forward to both. So guys, last night I got to try out the Hooten Young Jack Carr 16-year special reserve small batch whiskey. And again, this is their Warrior Proof 125. When you taste it, when you put it in your mouth, it definitely has this apple flavor to it. But one thing that I noticed, that it almost had a bubble yum kind of fruity feel, and you could taste the clove. It was just an incredible whiskey. Of course, I didn't want to make the video after I'd had some of this because it was just so good. And then, of course, with the cigar, and of course this is a Dominican Puro, it smoked so evenly. In fact, the ash was dead even all the way up to almost the wrapper. So smooth. I'll tell you guys, it was just a very enjoyable evening. I sat out and just on my front porch, and it just kind of slowed things down. Just enjoying the night. Didn't have my phone. Wasn't really paying attention to much. Did have some of the family members come out and kind of hang out for a little while, and we just got to talk. Got away from the TV, got away from everything, and just really focused on life. So I think Hooten Young, I love their mission. I love what they're doing. I love his love and willingness to sacrifice for this country. So a beautiful pairing and an excellent American whiskey, excellent cigars. And guys, a great lineup this year. And we really appreciate Mec-Gar for coming in with the presenting sponsor of these Glock metal mags. These things are great. And for Hooten Young, who made this a great ATF Holiday Gift Guide. And again, a big thank you to Getzone for putting all this together. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America, long live the Republic, and Merry Christmas. And a Happy New Year. incorporate, I don't know what that is, during the black holiday. Red dot ready from 0 to 60 in 40 seconds. Ba ba ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. But one of the things about a Faraday bag is it blocks the, what does it block? I don't even know what it blocks. This has the, okay. Makes this okay. But the reticle, okay. But the reticle. And these Hooten Young Jack Carr cigars, it's gonna make the new year even much brighter.